All right. Sorry about that delay that we just had. I had some mic issues. So I need you guys to let me know if we are sounding good over here. Let me know what the mic is sounding like. Appreciate everybody that's already in here. Drinking some Dr. Pepper tonight. Matthew, thank you for being here, man. He says Suns Geek with your awesome TJ Warren profile picture. Thank you, Matt, for letting me know I sound good. Lindsay, appreciate you being here. David, thank you for being here. Mark Cooper, appreciate you being here, man. Thanks to everybody that's in here. You guys do me a huge favor before we get started. Make sure to Hulk smash that like button. I would really, really appreciate it. Just do me a favor, share the stream if you can. Tell people about the channel. That's the best way to keep supporting me, is just to tell people about Suns Geek, to keep on watching, and I would really appreciate it. Yeah, Matthew says, how you doing, man? Tough loss, but 80 more to go. This was a tough loss tonight. I'm not like as upset or emotionally driven as I was in that Mavericks game, if you know what I mean. The emotions weren't as high in this game, although in a way, this was sort of a chippy, hard-fought game for both teams, and I applaud the Portland Trailblazers. We're going to talk about the Portland Trailblazers a little bit because, in short, I think they're going to be a little bit better this year. I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs or anything, but I think they will be a little bit of a better of a team, and we're going to dive into the numbers and everything. I actually got to pull them up. We're going to wait just like about a minute or so, and then we will get started. Let me just pull up the numbers. But we got lots to talk about. I got lots of notes. I definitely want to talk about how the Suns looked early in the game. I want to talk about definitely that fourth quarter, and then we'll dive into the numbers. So appreciate everybody that's in here. Y'all are awesome. Daniel, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you guys. Damn, what a sad game. Suns Geek. Yep. Both teams fought hard, says Lindsay. Exactly. Both teams fought hard. All right. Just give me 1 second here, you guys. I apologize. I should have had these up sooner. I was like glued to my TV screen, so I didn't even know to pull up the numbers. All right. We will get to that in a moment. So let's talk about the first quarter real quick. The Phoenix Suns, I want to say throughout maybe a 6-7 minute stretch, looked like last year's Phoenix Suns, in my opinion. I think they started off the game like 6 for 9, 6 for 10, if you will. They were very active. They were very aggressive. DeAndre Ayton had that made three. I think someone like clanked a three off the rim, and Ayton caught the rebound and just launched the wide open three. I love it when he does that. He should do that more often. And it went in. The Suns had active hands, which we will get to in a minute. They're running the fast break. They're making threes. They went on a 10-0 run just like that. And then they switched up their lineups. And I want to say at the end, like maybe the last 3 minutes of the first quarter, that was when the Blazers responded. They did a good job of responding and clawing back into this game. I don't know if we just went cold or if they just decided to play better defense. I don't know what the case was, but the Blazers did a great job of hanging in there all game. Matt Peterson on Twitter pointed this out, that Chris Paul was in the game, like I want to say in the first quarter, maybe a little bit even in the second, without no Booker, Ayton, or Bridges, or even Cam Johnson. If the Suns can win those kind of minutes with Chris Paul in with like our reserves, that's going to be huge. Or vice versa. Like if Devin Booker's in with the bench, which I saw a little bit of that tonight, and we win those minutes, that's going to be huge. One thing that really impressed me tonight was the ball movement. The ball was just zipping around the court. I absolutely loved it. Even like, you guys remember that one play? And I think the Suns Twitter page posted it, so maybe we can react to it later. But you guys remember that one play where the ball was going out of bounds? I think it was like Torrey Craig or Mikhail Bridges saved it. The ball kept zipping around, chest passes, bounce passes that would lead to open threes. I love that. The ball movement was fantastic tonight. Portland Trailblazers really struggled with turning over the ball tonight. I think at one point the Suns had forced like 14 turnovers, or the Blazers had 14 turnovers or something like that, 14 steals, something. It was insane. They could not take care of the ball. Damian Lillard was Damian Lillard. I mean, he had 28 points at halftime with 4 made threes. He was amazing tonight. Now, in their first game against the Sacramento Kings, which they did win, he had 20 points, but he was like 5 for 20 on shooting or something like that. So Damian Lillard, I feel like finally arrived, in terms of coming back from that injury and everything. And, he found his shot tonight, if you will. I'm surprised he didn't have 50 points on us. I really am, because by halftime, it looked like he was going to have a 50-point game. The Phoenix Suns bench definitely remains an issue, especially with scoring. I don't really have the numbers to back that up, but I will say at one point, I think the Suns bench was like 9 for 25. And again, that's kind of why I brought up the fact that like we started off the game, maybe the first 6-7 minutes, like solid. Shots were going in. Great defense was being played. The fast break was being ran. The Suns looked like a well-oiled machine. And then we put the bench in, and that was when we stopped scoring, and the Blazers clawed their way back into the game. And yeah, how you guys doing? What's going on? Oh man. So those are just some of my initial takeaways. Now that fourth quarter was pretty intense, and overtime, really. I guess we can kind of fast forward to that. There were some controversial calls played or called. We had that little delay where they were reviewing a call, and DeAndre Ayton going to the free throw line and everything. And give credit to Jock Landale. I think DeAndre Ayton missed those free throws on purpose. At least the second one he did. And Jock Landale actually had the time to grab the rebound, kind of bring it down. I don't know if he just missed it, and then he went back up. It was close. I give him props for being there to get the rebound. Sucks it didn't go in. You guys are funny. I'm reading your comments already. You guys are hilarious. We're going to talk about Chris Paul later. But it was just a tough game, guys. And okay. I obviously didn't want us to lose, but I kind of knew we were going to lose, especially when Anthony Simons, I hope I said his name right. It's like Anthony or Anthony Simons. He had that beautiful Kareem-esque running sky hook over Mikhail Bridges, who has like a 7'1" wingspan, who is the best defender in the league, in my opinion. That was beautiful. That was kind of when I knew we were going to lose. I got a little scared before overtime when Damian Lillard had the ball. I feel like the Suns, and I've talked about this before, I feel like the Suns didn't really get back in transition. They should have just swarmed Damian Lillard no matter what, got the ball out of his hand. But I kind of knew we were going to lose. And props to the Portland Trailblazers, you guys. I mean that. Like, they obviously had a bad year last year because they were injured. They traded CJ McCollum. They're kind of like rebuilding, but still might be there, like rebuilding, but also like we still have Damian Lillard. So let's bring in some new guys. Let's get a young, intriguing project like Shaedon Sharpe. So I guess what I'm saying is I don't think the Blazers are going to make the playoffs or anything this year, but I think they will be better than advertised. I don't think they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league. They could potentially be. But I just think they're going to be better than especially if Damian Lillard's healthy. If he ends up going out with an injury, then they're pretty much cooked. But so good question here. Why coach keep Biyombo? Oh, sorry, let me find it. Why did coach keep Biyombo in till 1.2 seconds ago? Are you asking why did he bring in Biyombo? I think it was strictly for rebounding. That's why you saw Jock Landale in with Bismack Biyombo at the very end there, which I thought was a smart idea. I think that's the reason he did it. Just grab a rebound, try to put it up, and win the game. Um, this this loss is just a little tricky, you guys. I mean, we did have a day off. We were on the road. I don't want to make excuses for the Suns, but we did have a day off. We were on the road. Um, Again, I just really feel like this. Okay, maybe if Cameron Johnson stayed in the game, because according to what we know, he had like something on his back. Who knows if he's going to miss any time or all that. That's why I kind of was talking about the bench. I really feel like the bench is going to be a massive problem this year. And I'm not saying the bench lost us this game, because the starters were in for good amounts of time, good periods of time. But I don't really know. This loss is really tricky, in my personal opinion. And that's okay. We're 1-1, 80 games to go, which that just hit me that the NBA season's here and there's these records actually count and they actually matter now. It's a tough loss. Let's be real. Just a tough loss. That's all it is. We're going to dive into the numbers. We're going to look more into it. We're going to react to some plays. It's just a tough loss. These losses are going to happen. It's very early in the season, and I don't want to make excuses for the Phoenix Suns. Example, I think the Miami Heat lost to the shorthanded Chicago Bulls the other night. The Jazz are 2-0. The rebuilding, tanking Jazz are 2-0. The Sixers are 0-2. Like, this stuff happens, you guys. We're going to see some weird losses. And trust me, there's going to be times when I'm on this show and I'm going to be pissed off like I was the other night. And I'm going to be saying, the Suns need to do this. The Suns need to do that. But then like a week later, I'll realize, oh, it was just a bad loss. Like, these things happen. And I've noticed that. Ever since we got Chris Paul. Because obviously the team changed and we got better and we became contenders. So unfortunately, these losses happen. So I don't want to like necessarily sound like a hypocrite or anything, but I don't want to sound like I change my tune a lot, but I just really feel like these strange losses are going to happen. And guess what, you guys? We play the Blazers like 2-3 more times after this, and then we're done. Because seriously, like, look at our schedule. We play them, I want to say maybe within the next couple weeks or months or something like that. Like, we have a few Blazers games coming up, and then we're done. We don't have to see this team till next season. So we can hopefully get our revenge next time. I'm sure we're at home next time too against the Blazers. And they had a healthy Damian Lillard in this game, and he went off. So these are just kind of my initial reactions. And I always forget to post these things up, like my opening thoughts, kind of just my immediate reaction. So I'm going to take a sip of my Dr. Pepper. No alcohol for me tonight, you guys. I think I'm saving that for the Warriors game or Clippers game, whatever game's on Sunday. So let me take a sip of this and we will continue. So Chuckster14 says, stop, Suns Geek. We've got some issues and we need more personnel. Okay. I received a little bit of heat on my Suns Mavericks post-game live show for pretty much criticizing the Suns and saying they didn't deserve the win, which during that first half, we really didn't deserve that win. And I will die on a hill for that statement. But let's be real. I mean, we had a lot of our starters, and I even said it at the very beginning of the show, like, the bench needs work. It's going to take some time. The Suns need more shot creators. They need more production off the bench. I've been saying that since preseason, man. That's why I got so hyped for preseason. I was like, Jock Landale's doing this. And who else played good during the preseason? Dwayne Washington Jr. played good during the preseason. The bench needs to be better. Cameron Payne needs to be better. And this is another reason why Monty Williams is pulling Cameron Johnson maybe 4 or 5 minutes after starting to come in with the bench unit so they don't lose that production. Excuse me. Unfortunately, tonight he got hurt. I think at first it was like an ankle injury, or that's what some people thought, and then all of a sudden it was his back. Hopefully we learn more about that. I'll check with the media and everything later. So I don't know. Let's look at the numbers, and I'll share my screen. And I do apologize if it's blurry on your guys' end. I do apologize. I'm gonna get that fixed soon. But we're gonna look at the numbers here. We're gonna dive into it. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. I'll do my best to try to get to all of them. Thank you to everybody that's in here. We got 30 people in here. You guys are awesome. Okay, here we are. Now let me get that better. Again, I apologize if it's blurry. It's probably not like full 1080 HD, but anyways, all right. Okay, let me do this actually. Whoa, are we still connected? My internet just like dropped. Let me know if we're still good over here. Okay, I think we're good. Anyways, hopefully I'm not lagging or anything. All right, let's read the numbers. So Cameron Johnson, 23 minutes tonight, 2 for 9 shooting, had a terrible shooting night, 5 points, three rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Went out with that injury. Stay tuned for that. We don't know what's going on with that. Mikhail Bridges, 38 minutes, 6 for 10 shooting, 13 points, 7 boards, 6 assists. Now, let me talk to you guys about Mikhail Bridges for a minute. I really hope that he continues to take this offensive growth that we're seeing from him. And it's really just little plays here and there. Like one in particular, one play, like kind of late in that game, he like drove in and like caused, I think it was when he passed it to Ayton, and Ayton hit that like and one, and just sometimes just exploding to the rim, getting those nice mid-range shots. Mikhail Bridges just needs to continue to grow offensively. And I think we're going to see big things from him this season. But it's also the 6 assists that really impressed me. 6 for 10 shooting, 38 minutes. We all know what he does on defense. I thought Mikhail Bridges played great tonight. DeAndre Ayton, 38 minutes, 12 for 22 shooting. Hit that 1-3, 26 points, 6 rebounds. That's kind of alarming. 3 assists. Now, immediately, let me talk to you guys about DeAndre Ayton's passing. And I've kind of noticed this the past couple games. When DeAndre Ayton gets trapped or like the defender is just on him, I've noticed that he's been passing out and it's been productive. So if DeAndre Ayton can kind of be like a decoy, if you will, I think that's going to be great. Because we've seen it a lot. Like there was, I think in that Dallas Mavericks game, DeAndre Ayton was near the free throw line and he had the ball and was well defended. And then Cam Johnson cut to the basket and threw it down. Like DeAndre Ayton can be used as that decoy. Maybe his assist numbers can go up this year. I thought DeAndre Ayton had a pretty good game. He did seem pretty tired near the end of the game, but he kept fighting. He did all he could. Now, that very end of the play, the very end of the game, sorry, I got to burp real quick. The very end of the game, I don't know if DeAndre Ayton just got tangled up or if maybe he thought he was going to get fouled because Booker drove in. I feel like the play was kind of broken a little bit. Booker drove in. You thought maybe he was going to kick it out to like a Damion Lee or something, just like we saw in the Mavericks game. But he found Ayton. It actually kind of was low-key a nice pass. Ayton caught it, and I don't know if he just got tangled up, but he just couldn't get up there. I even tweeted out jokingly. I was like, I wonder what DeAndre Ayton would be like with a Hall of Fame pogo stick badge. If he had like a Zion Williamson double jump, you know what I mean? Maybe one day for DeAndre Ayton. But I thought he played pretty good tonight. And he played good in the Mavericks game. Chris Paul, 36 minutes, 5 for 11, 10 points, 12 assists, 5 steals, 5 personal fouls. Maybe it's the defense. I don't know what you guys are tripping about with Chris Paul. I'm not seeing it. Maybe we're seeing less of an offensive Chris Paul. Maybe that's the concern. And I understand that because we saw Chris Paul take over so many games last year offensively with all those beautiful mid-ranges that he does. But there were some flashes of offense tonight from Chris Paul. And he still finished with 12 assists. And he was stealing that ball because the Blazers were just throwing it away. So I want to hear your guys' concerns. Tell me if I'm wrong about Chris Paul. I think he's fine. Sure, maybe there's a little bit of a slowness or something going on, maybe on the defensive end, maybe even on the offensive end as well. But he looked good during preseason. He looked okay tonight. I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong. Do we even have to talk about Devin Booker? I mean, he was Devin Booker, man. 44 minutes, 11 for 23 shooting, 33 points, 5 boards, 3 assists. He's Devin Booker, man. He was amazing. And I understand fans might have been a little upset with him for that last before overtime when he, had the ball. He had Damian Lillard on him and just kind of chucked the ball up and it bricked. I understand that, but Damian Lillard kind of did the same thing. So I don't know. So thank you, Shot Chucker, for bringing up my next person who I wanted to talk about. Shock Tricker says, I'm on the D. Lee fan club. Bro plays hard and hits the timely shot so far. So Damion Lee tonight. Let me just make sure I'm getting this number right because my screen's a little blurry. 31 minutes, 8 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Hit 2 threes, especially one late in the fourth quarter. One thing I've been noticing, and I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing. Maybe it's a bad thing because our bench so far is not that good. Damian Lillard. Damion Lee has been playing a lot of fourth quarter late game minutes. Have you guys noticed that? And maybe that's a good thing because the guy has won a championship. He has experience. I think he's a better defender than we give him credit for. He had a couple nice hustle plays out there that I think really impacted the game. Now, yes, he has to be more consistent. He's got to hit those shots. He obviously won us the game in Dallas, but he's getting those minutes. He's building chemistry and experience with this team late in the game. I've been impressed with Damion Lee so far. And again, I know that preseason doesn't matter, but he had some good moments in preseason too. So I want to hear from you guys on a couple of things real quick. I want to hear from you guys what you guys are seeing from Chris Paul, both offensively and defensively. And I want to know, do you guys like how Damion Lee is getting these legit late fourth quarter minutes? Let me know. Thank you to everybody that's in here. We got 34 people in here. Do me a favor, you guys, destroy that like button, share the stream, continue to watch and support Suns Geek. I would really, really appreciate it. You guys are all awesome. Also, I wanted to thank somebody who subscribed. See if I can find it. Well, whoever subscribed recently, I appreciate you. I saw your comment. Someone had a Chris Paul comment here, too, that I wanted to read. A burner account says, I heard from a reliable source behind a 7-Eleven that Dragan Bender is a free agent and is, quote, ready to make a comeback. If you guys know me, if you're a first-time viewer, if you guys know me, I'm Dragan Bender's biggest fan, and I'm not even joking. And I probably just lost all my subscribers. But I love Dragan Bender, man. Let's see. Sorry, my nose is itching me right now. All right. Yeah, Shot Chucker makes a good point. He was grabbing rebounds over Grant and Nasir Little. Speaking of Nasir Little, however you pronounce his name, he was really good. When he's healthy, he can actually play. Jeremy Grant he's a freak, man, but he's kind of skinny too. But we're going to dive into the Blazers numbers for a minute. But that just kind of brings my point around is that Damion Lee deserves these minutes if he keeps playing hard, showing great effort, being maybe a little bit more consistent with his shot, I think he's going to do big things for this team. And we need it. We really, really need it because, wait, Suns Geek looking at his stats or anything on his computer. 222. What? I don't know what you're talking about, Shot Chucker. Don't scare me like that, man. I don't know what you're talking about. I would read you guys the rest of the bench stats, but they're not very productive. I mean, campaign 17 minutes, 5 points, bad shooting. Jock Lindell didn't have that great of a game. It's like, is it even worth reading the rest of the stats to you guys? Ryan Moore says Lee has that energy. He fights for rebounds and takes advantage of his opportunities to score. Exactly. We should have Washington Jr. play instead of Payne. It will add more production off the bench or even alongside to help him spread the floor. I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen Dwayne Washington Jr. yet. And even before his 31 point, 11 turnover explosion, I thought he played pretty well in preseason. And that's why I'm kind of confused why we haven't seen it. Now, I agree with this last part here. He said it will add more production to the bench or even alongside. I'm assuming you meant to say campaign, like along with campaign to help him spread the floor. That's why I was talking about the ball movement tonight, you guys. We do need to spread the floor more. We need to get that ball zipping around. We need more shots to go up. And you know what? I know that a lot of people hate him. I know that a lot of people want him traded. This is where a Landry Shamet would have been very helpful tonight. Maybe even a Dario Saric, who we also didn't see tonight. Monty Williams loves to go with his matchups, and he kind of reads the game and, you know, gives players minutes based off the matchups and whatever superstars are out there. But I do want to see a little bit of Dwayne Washington Jr., potentially maybe right next to campaign. You know, maybe continue to see these Damion Lee fourth quarter minutes. I don't know. Let's see. Just make sure I'm not missing any good comments. Vision says, do you think Monty is scared of putting Washington in because of the turnovers, or does he just have too much faith in Payne? Great question. It could be a little bit, well, it might just be see, that's what's strange, because I feel like in these first two games, Monty Williams is kind of just throwing guys out there and experimenting, which I guess you want to do earlier in the season because you don't want to be doing that late in the season or in the playoffs because then you're going to get destroyed. But I just wonder if he's going to go with a different lineups. You know, maybe you don't want to do that in the Warriors or Clippers game or whatever comes up next, because those are two very solid teams, obviously. But maybe when the schedule gets a little lighter. But I just don't know why we haven't seen a Dwayne Washington Jr. yet. And you got to wonder, when is he going to pull the plug on certain guys if they don't continue to perform? Because you know Monty Williams, he rewards players who work hard in practice. He loves his guys, like Campaign, for example. And sure, Campaign, let's not forget, he played pretty well in that Mavericks game. That's why he was on the court late in that fourth quarter and helped win us the game. He hit a couple big shots. But, and look, is Dwayne Washington Jr. going to save our season? I don't know, but like if he's going to continue to experiment, why don't you get a Dwayne Washington Jr. out there? I don't know. That was a good question, man. I appreciate you asking. And I will just say this. A Landry Shamet would have been pretty helpful tonight. That's all I'm saying. Lindsay says, I like Sham. Wow, me too. Shot Chucker says Shamet and Lee would help this bench immensely. Exactly. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the Blazers. Oh God. Okay. This is why DeAndre Ayton only had 6 rebounds. And I just saw this. I don't know how I just saw this, but I just saw this. Yusuf Nurkic, 35 minutes, 17 boards, 13 of them defensively, 4 offensively, 20 points. I was a little scared about that. I knew DeAndre Ayton would be fine offensively, but I knew because we were playing somebody like Nurkic that Ayton was not going to get many rebounds tonight. Sure, Nurkic isn't an all-star player, but if I was like in a street fight, I would want Nurkic by my side. The guy's huge, man. So I think Ayton might have struggled with that. And again, they got Jeremy Grant out there. I mean, he only had 4 boards, but he's got good size. We already talked about Damian Lillard, 41 points, 43 minutes, 5 made threes. Finally found his shot. Like I said, last game he had 20 points, 5 for something shooting, but still ended up with 20 points. So he was Damian Lillard. Hopefully he has another incredible season, especially coming back from that injury. And Anthony Simons struggled to start the game, but finished with 16 points, 5 for 17 from the field, 42 minutes. Justice Winslow played a little bit. Shaedon Sharpe. Let me talk to you guys real quick about Shaedon Sharpe. Sort of an intriguing young prospect. They picked him 7th overall in this year's draft. He looked really good in their first game against the Kings. Now, if I'm correct, I don't think he played much or anything in college, to my knowledge, because I'm not a big college guy. But a very intriguing, athletic young prospect. Played very well in the Kings game. I think he finished with like 12 points. I think he had like 3 threes in that game too. Super athletic too. Now look, I'm not saying Shaedon Sharpe was the great pick. I'm not saying the Blazers are going to make the playoffs with Shaedon Sharpe or whatever. One reason I like the pick though is because the Blazers hired a man by the name of Mike Schmitz, who's like a draft expert. He was on ESPN for many years and would do the draft day shows and all that, and covered the draft. Like, he's amazing. They hired him, I think, as like an assistant GM or something like that. So any pick that the Blazers get from here on out, as long as he's in their front office, I'm going to trust, because that man knows basketball. He knows the draft. He knows young players. So I like Shaedon Sharpe. Could be a good addition to this team. And like I said, I think they're going to be a little bit better than they were last year. If they can stay healthy, if Damian Lillard can stay healthy, I think this team could be really good. Not great, but good. They might need a little bit more help, kind of like the Suns bench struggles, like we're seeing. The Blazers might need a little bit more help with their bench, but yeah, I'm excited for Shaedon Sharpe. Excited for this Blazers team. Curious what they're going to do this year. Let's see. Our gang rebounding needs serious work. Anytime Ayton or company contests a shot, the center or gut without body is free to grab the board. Thank you for bringing that up, Shot Chucker. So instead of looking at individual stats, let's look at team stats. And I talked about this in the preseason. I talked about this in the Mavericks game. The Suns lost the rebounding battle tonight, 48-41. 13 offensive rebounds for the Blazers, 9 for the Suns. I said this. DeAndre Ayton cannot grab all those rebounds. Even if DeAndre Ayton was the best rebounder in the league, he can't grab all the rebounds. A key word here from Shot Chucker, and I said this too, gang rebounding. There were lots of times throughout the Mavericks game and even tonight where it just seemed like there was one guy just in the paint trying to grab the board. And maybe that's the Suns' strategy in terms of rebounding. One guy gets the ball, everybody gets back on defense. I don't know. I'm not a professional coach. I don't know. But I think that the rebounding is going to be a problem this year. Even if you had like a Jock Landell and an Ayton on the court at the same time, or an Ayton or a Bismack, or a Dario and whoever. Harvey Grant, I appreciate you, man. He says, hey, bro, love what you're doing. Keep it up. Thanks a lot, man. He says, great for basketball. Thank you, man. I appreciate you saying that. And again, thank you guys For everybody that's in here, we've been live for about 35 minutes now. We got 38 people. You guys are awesome, man. A burner account says Suns still can't rebound. It's a medical condition. Now, look, to my knowledge, if I remember correctly, because my memory sucks, we were middle of the pack last year in terms of rebounding. And I think we won the rebounding battle last game. And, 41 rebounds ain't bad, but it's really the offensive rebounds that I think is my biggest gripe. It's just guys aren't willing to throw their bodies in or hustle to go get a board. I don't know. However, though, looking at the numbers, Suns shot nearly 46% tonight, 37% from three. One number that stands out to me, I'm going to highlight this. I don't know if you guys can see it. 31 assists. 31 assists, you guys. That is huge. I've said this so many times. Now, unfortunately, tonight I was not accurate. But if you have like 29 assists or more, you're probably going to win the game. And we almost did. 31 assists. That's huge. I kept talking about it earlier. The ball movement, zipping that ball around the court, making guys get wide open shots because of the ball movement. We didn't see much of that in the Mavericks game. 31 assists. That's huge. Move that ball around, Suns. 14 steals for the Suns. Huge. The Blazers had 21 turnovers. The Suns had 18 points off those turnovers. Suns won the points in the paint battle again. They won it the other night against the Mavericks. Suns 50 points in the paint. The Blazers 48. Suns did struggle with fouls, though. The refs definitely had their whistles out. 29 fouls for the Suns, and the largest lead was 12 for the Suns. Just a tough loss, you guys. That's how I'm going to look at it. I'm a little more optimistic than I was the other night. I was pretty negative the other night. The other night was a lot of emotions. It was a roller coaster of a game. It was the Mavericks. It was that whole Game 7 flashbacks and everything. Tonight I was a little bit more calm because I went back and watched the footage. I went back and watched the tape of that Mavericks game. And, besides that first half, there was a lot of great takeaways. And the Suns came back and won. They did it in pretty crazy fashion, too. And sure, we lost tonight. But it's a learning lesson, man. Hopefully Cam Johnson's okay, too. That's what we're going to do next. We're going to go see what my man Dwayne Rankin's saying, because he's the one that's actually at the game. Because I guess he's got like credentials and all that, gets to go to the game. Okay, never mind. He doesn't have anything yet. Usually he's there and talking to the media and everything. And still waiting on a Cam Johnson update. For those of you who don't know, sort of a weird game for Cam Johnson. At first we thought it was like an ankle thing. I didn't even see what happened. But apparently the last update we have was that he's got like a, let me see. I want to make sure I'm getting this right too. Well, Cam Johnson's got something on his back, which is not good. I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Because I don't think there's... Oh, Monty Williams said Cam Johnson's tailbone was the issue tonight after the fall on the charge. I'm stupid. I'm sorry, guys. I don't even know what I'm reading. I'll pull it up and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. This was like 30 minutes ago. Let me share my screen. Okay, let's see. Nope. Stop sharing. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second here. All right. Yeah. So Monty Williams said Cam Johnson's tailbone was the issue tonight after the fall on the charge. By the way, some of those charge calls tonight were kind of bullshit. Okay, now I remember actually, because Cam did take a charge. And what I noticed too was he kind of I wonder if he should have just planted his feet sooner, because I think he took one extra step. And I think the Suns got, or the Blazers might have gotten called for the charge foul. Chris Paul took one too, which was really good. But that's probably when it happened. That makes sense now. Because, yeah, like after that, we didn't see much of Cam Johnson. I think he might have checked back into the game. But yeah, we didn't see much of him. He obviously had a rough night. And yeah, you know, Ryan Moore says, I think I saw Cam hurt his tailbone after that charge. Yeah, exactly. Appreciate you guys helping me out with that. Shot Chucker says, I'm not one to blame the refs, but it's hard to get guys in rhythm if we're consistently in foul trouble. We had 3 guys with 5 fouls. That's an excellent point, Shot Chucker. You're on fire tonight, man. Now, again, the referees, and you guys know me, I'll blame the refs when I feel it's necessary. They were pretty bad tonight, but I don't really know if they were fully to blame for this game. Now, the amount of fouls the Suns had were pretty bad, and there were some pretty bad calls. But I feel like it was kind of both sides, you know? Both sides were getting kind of bad calls. The refs were on one tonight. Booker was pretty frustrated. I know Monty was pretty frustrated last game. You know, the refs are still trying to get in their season form too. I'm not making any excuses for them. But you're right. Guys can't get in rhythm if they get into foul trouble. The Suns do need to work on that too. That's another area they need to work on is just knowing when not to foul, when, you know to not be super aggressive at times. And again, like if you even slightly touch a person's wrist or slightly bump somebody with their your chest, it's going to be a foul. The league is so soft now, and I'm serious. Like literally, you barely touch, you scrape a person, you barely touch them, and it's a foul. I'm a huge fan of NBA history. If you guys didn't know that, I'm a huge fan of Suns history. I mean, look at my Suns wall. Back in the day, man, you could like throw these guys to the ground, elbow them, get physical with them. It barely was called a foul. You know what I mean? How you guys doing tonight, man? We're already 42 minutes in. We're having a good time here, just ranting about the Suns. It was just a tough loss. I feel like I'm a little more optimistic than I was the other night in terms of how this game went down. And sure, you know, we lost. It is what it is, but we'll bounce back. I guess that's probably what we could do next, because I feel like I've talked enough about this game. Again, if you guys have any questions, any comments, any concerns, get them in now. I'll try my best to get to them. Just kind of making sure I didn't miss any comments here. I usually key the ref's car when they come to Phoenix, but hey, that's just me. A burner account, you're a legend, man. Like, choose wisely mentioned the Josh call was just funny. Dame legit rolled around. Not one travel was called. I noticed that play. I noticed that Dame, he looked like I'm just going to show you with my phone. He looked like he did this, like, but like in a moving motion. And he still hit that incredible shot. Now, in all fairness, Josh Okogie, who is a solid defender, I mean, he did kind of like get him for a minute, but then Josh Okogie contested pretty well, and Dame just ended up draining the 3. But I get your guys' point. The refs are pretty bad tonight. Oh, and then there was that one play where I don't know what happened. Like the lane was clogged, and Mikhail Bridges was like doing this, and he like bumped into Dame Lillard, and he fell down. He got that superstar call. I even tweeted that. I said Dame got that superstar call. The refs were pretty bad tonight. I'll take back what I said. They were bad tonight, but I still don't know if that's the reason we lost the game. I'm not saying it wasn't a factor, because it was, but yeah, they were pretty bad. Payne take foul, Dame rolling on the ground. Yeah, they're pretty bad tonight. All right. Let's preview while you guys are getting your questions and comments in. let's preview the next few games. And by preview, I'm just going to kind of give my thoughts. And then again, if you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, get them in now. I'll try to get to all of them. I'm just going to pull up the schedule. We'll kind of talk about our next few games. How about we kind of just go we'll just kind of talk about the rest of October's games just real quickly while you guys are getting your questions in. And just so you guys know, if you're a first-time viewer on this channel, I'm going to do my best to go live after every single Suns game. I've been doing some pregame shows as well during the days, so stay tuned for more of those. I didn't decide to do one today because I was pretty tired, but definitely stay tuned for more pregame and postgame shows. All right, our next game. Sunday, October 23rd versus the Los Angeles Clippers, who I watched most of that game last night versus the Lakers. Kawhi Leonard is healthy, and he looks pretty good. John Wall is a great addition to that Clippers team. Great addition. Paul George is Paul George. They have a solid bench. Guys that can shoot. Lots of wing, solid defenders like Robert Covington. Luke Kennard can score. Reggie Jackson is a bucket. They are well coached by Ty Lue. That's not going to be an easy game. That's why I saved the alcohol. That's why I'm just drinking a Dr. Pepper tonight. That's why I saved the alcohol for Sunday. I feel like I'm going to need some of that. That game's on NBA TV if you guys have it. Starts at, well, for me anyways, it starts at 9 o'clock. I don't know about for you guys. I don't know where you guys live. But then Tuesday, just one day later, we versus the defending champion Golden State Warriors on TNT. I mean, where do I begin with the Warriors? Steph Curry, excuse me. Jordan Poole's looking good for them. They have a lot of young talent, like James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga. They got Draymond Green still. Klay Thompson's been looking pretty good. That game's not going to be easy. Don't sleep on the Pelicans, you guys. That game is Friday, October 28th, ESPN. We got 3 national TV games in a row. I'm telling you guys, do not sleep on the Pelicans. Don't let these people who are like putting the Pelicans at the 7th or 8th seed, don't let that fool you guys. This team almost beat us in the playoffs. They had a pretty good offseason. Zion Williamson is looking pretty good, especially in that first game. Herb Jones is a solid defender. They still got CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram. They got a good team over there, you guys. I think they're going to do good. And then to end the month of October, Sunday, October 30th, versus the Houston Rockets. You guys might be saying to yourself, oh, the Rockets suck. They're young. I could see us losing that game. No joke. Because 1, Jalen Green is a freak. And 2, they got Jabari Smith who can score. He's a young rookie, 3rd overall pick in the draft. Alfred Sengun is really good. They got a few other guys who I'm totally forgetting to mention that can play. I can legit see us losing that Rockets game. And you know what? Look at the schedule. I understand if the Suns struggle early on. Maybe it's a good thing. And I remember I panicked. I did a live stream when the schedule came out, and I was like, oh my God, we got to play this team and that team. But it might be good in the long run because you get these bad losses out of the way early. You get that experience of playing like the Clippers, the Warriors, the Pelicans early. You get that out of the way. And then once the schedule, quote, lightens up, that's when you experiment a little bit. You get in rhythm with your teammates. You figure things out. And they were talking about it on the broadcast tonight, Eddie Johnson and Kevin Ray. There is even though teams are going to tank this year and teams are going to be bad, like before All-Star break and after All-Star break, that's when teams are going to give up and they're going to be pretty bad. We're going to still see close games like this. Even if teams are tanking and they're legit throwing games away. Sorry, I got to take a sip of my water. Even if teams are tanking, trying to tank for Wemby and Scoot Henderson or whatever his name is. I feel like we're going to still see close games. This is professional basketball, you guys. Games aren't going to be easy. So even though I panicked when I first saw our schedule, and I'm still scared, we got some tough games, you guys. I mean, look at that. The Timberwolves, November 1st. Blazers back-to-back nights. The Sixers, the Timberwolves again. The Heat, the Warriors. And that's not even before December. It's going to be a tough schedule, you guys. But I am confident. I wouldn't be a Suns fan if I didn't think we could win the championship this year. I'm hoping and praying for good things. I hope that we stay healthy. I hope that Cam Johnson is healthy. Stay tuned on this channel. Any Cam Johnson updates, any Suns updates, you're going to come to this channel. I'll be probably one of the first ones to break it down and give you guys the news in terms of video form. And that's pretty much it. I think I'm done, you guys. I mean, again, if you guys got any last minute questions, just let me know, man. I'm just making sure I didn't miss any comments or anything. Burner account says, oh boy, Geek, you're going to be chugging a whole barrel of beer on Sunday, probably, because I'm a little scared for that game. Chuckster14 says, I watched the Clippers and Lakers last night. They are a serious contender, a boatload of veterans and real men. I watched that game too, and I watched a good percentage of it. The only thing I will say about the Clippers, and maybe I'm just judging off the couple of games I've watched, and this happens to every team, let's be real. I've noticed they kind of blow leads a little bit. But like, so do the Suns. The Mavericks did it the other night. You know what I mean? But I've noticed that. And I think they did that a lot last year. Now, again, they didn't have Kawhi Leonard, but you guys get what I mean. So that might be something to look out for in that Clippers game. Is if they do have a big lead, can the Suns crack that and get back into the game? Because I've noticed they kind of do that. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Let's see. Pelicans are going to be amazing this season. Pelicans are going to destroy us from the paint. The West is a freaking bloodbath. Exactly. Hey, don't sleep on that Eastern Conference either, man. The Eastern Conference got a lot better. Adam Silver didn't want the Suns in the playoffs this year. I'm about to key his car now. All right, you guys. I think I'm done. Seriously, you guys, thank you for being here. I'm going to try to do as many post-game live streams as I can. And like I said, stay tuned for more pregame shows. I know I didn't do one today, but I did most of them throughout the preseason. I covered the Mavericks game the other morning or afternoon. Stay tuned for more of that. Any and all Phoenix Suns content is on this channel. And again, the best way to continue to support me, you guys, is just to keep watching. Even if you hate my face, even if you hate my guts, just keep watching me, you guys. Destroy that like button. Thank you guys so much for watching. You're all amazing people. Stay safe out there. Be kind to people. You guys want to hear a nice little quick story before we get out of here? I had to stop at the grocery store just real quick today. Had to pick up a couple cans of dog food, a couple other small things. The lines were kind of busy. Even self-checkout was really busy. This one lady, she let me cut in front of her because I had like 4 things. I said, thank you so much, ma'am. That was nice of you. You didn't have to do that. So that's what I mean, you guys. Just be nice to people. You know what I mean? That's all I wanted to say. Just be nice to people, man. You guys are all awesome. You guys are nice to me by watching me. So I love you guys. I'm out of here, though. I'm going to go watch some NBA highlights. I'm going to go watch the last 2 episodes of Chucky. I love that TV show. I highly recommend the Chucky TV series. And I will see you guys Sunday. You guys are probably going to be getting a Suns Clippers preview show. So stay tuned for that. And again, any Cam Johnson update, I will update you guys immediately. Stay tuned for that. A burner account says, lady let me cut in front of her. Boy, Geek bulldoze that grandma. Just kidding. Oh, man, that's funny. All right, guys, for real now. I'm out of here. I love you guys. God bless. Take care. Phoenix Suns for life. Win or lose. Suns for life. Go Suns. We're going to go back to the finals this year, and we're going to win a championship. I'm out. Peace.